Welcome in and thanks for joining us for the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. We begin with Hilton Head's beaches, back open since Saturday after a reported shark bite Friday afternoon in the Sea Pines area of the beach between markers 33 and 42. A 60-year-old man was wading in waist-deep water when he was apparently bitten on the foot by a shark. He was treated by Shore Beach Services personnel at the scene and Hilton Head Fire and Rescue paramedics, and later was taken to Hilton Head Hospital. The beach between those two markers closed for the rest of Friday, but it has been open since. Local governments continuing to buy up properties to try to preserve some of our natural beauty from development. Beaufort County has just spent $6 million to buy 527 acres of the old Cotton Hall property near Yemassee. It's one of the few properties acquired in recent years that doesn't need a boat to get to, fronting Highway 17 for more than 2 miles, allowing easy public access to fishing and hiking and other outdoor activities that could be planned there. Here's an embezzlement story with a couple of twists. The former treasurer of the Broad Point Owners Association on Hilton Head is not going to be prosecuted for taking nearly $200,000 from the group's reserve account over a 4.5-year period before, during, and after COVID, because Patricia Buttville has actually paid back $150,000 of the missing funds and has signed a document saying that she'll pay back the remaining $46,000. A new treasurer, though, has been appointed and new accounting procedures have been implemented. A fairly good evaluation of how we're doing as a state is CNBC's ranking of the best states for business. It ranks North Carolina number 1 and Georgia 4th this year, South Carolina 27th of the 50 states, which is actually quite an improvement over just a year ago when it was ranked 36th and back in 2021 when it was 39th. CNBC's methodology uses 10 broad categories that states themselves use to sell themselves. 7th best economy, 8th best infrastructure, but 46th in life, health, and inclusion. In other words, 4th worst for workers and their families. Under the category of quality of life, taking into account crime rates, health care, environmental quality, and protecting voting rights, South Carolina tied with Alabama near the bottom of the list. CNBC study says the state is in the top 10 for a high crime rate, rates of occupational deaths, mental distress, and has few legal protections for workers. And yet the state's unemployment rate is one of the nation's lowest at 3.1%. Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana are the states ranked lower than ours. As you cruise through the town of Port Royal over the next few months, you might wonder why the speed limit signs say 22 miles an hour instead of 25. Town officials say they want to bring attention to the number of veterans who die each day by suicide, estimated at 22 a day, a number worth emphasizing in a military town that's home of the recruit depot, of course, at Parris Island and the Naval Hospital. The new signs are going to cost $1,500 to $2,000. And maybe we'll all get to swig from the claret jug next spring to salute the new champion golfer of the year at the RBC Heritage after Savannah native Brian Harman smoked the field at the Open Championship outside Liverpool, England over the weekend. Harman slogged through a rainy Sunday, actually extended the 5-shot lead he'd held after Friday and Saturday's rounds to 6 at the end. Harman has been a fixture at the Heritage for nearly 20 years after getting his first invitations when he was still a teenager. For more information on these and other Lowcountry stories, we invite you to visit the sources listed on your screen. Maybe a little more about Brian Harman and certainly a lot more about kids playing ball in the Lowcountry from Justin Jarrett.
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Lowco on WHHI, powered by LowcoSports.com. Big news coming out of Hilton Head Christian Academy this morning as athletics director and head boys basketball coach Jason Grunkemeyer informed his team that he has accepted a job in Maine, leaving the Eagles in a tough spot just a couple of weeks before the start of the school year. Grunkemeyer was at HHCA for 2 years and led the boys basketball team to the SCISA 3A championship game this winter, falling to rival Hilton Head Prep. A bunch of HHCA Eagles are among the 14 and under Beaufort County All-Stars representing South Carolina in the Dixie Boys World Series up in Spring Hill, Virginia. The Lowco boys dropped their opening game 11-5 to Hattiesburg, Mississippi on Saturday, but they bounced back to win a pair of elimination games Sunday, routing Nashville, Arkansas 15-1 and edging Baconton, Georgia 5-2 to stay alive for another day. but they hit the end of the road this morning, bowing out with a 9-4 loss to the Louisiana state champions. The 13 and under Beaufort County All-Stars dropped their first 2 games at the Dixie Boys World Series in Opelika, Alabama, losing a heartbreaker 9-8 to Brunswick County, North Carolina in their opener before falling 8-2 to Dothan, Alabama in an elimination game Sunday. All-Star baseball season is winding down and high school football is right around the corner. Stay tuned to LowcoSports.com this week as we start gearing up with tons of season preview content. For Lowco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
Thanks, Justin. So how has this summer been? We hear about the terrible stories nationwide. Here in the Low Country, maybe not so bad, huh, Maria Soden?
Thanks, Bob. Yep, so taking a look ahead into the rest of the summer season, while it has been extremely hot this summer, forecasters are saying from this point on it is going to get much hotter and we are going to see a lot more rain coming our way. So taking a look ahead at this week, we're definitely going to see that pattern. Tuesday is going to be partly cloudy with scattered thunderstorms throughout the afternoon, but should be clearing up by the evening. Hilton Head's going to have a high of 90, low of 76. Bluffton's going to have a high 92, low of 74. And Beaufort's going to have a high of 92 and a low of 75. The sunrise for Tuesday is going to be at 6:32 and sunset's going to be at 8:26. Taking a look at the beach tides, low tide's going to be at 10:10 a.m. and high tide's going to be at 3:22 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week, we're going to see the same pattern from Wednesday to Friday. It's going to be partly cloudy with scattered thunderstorms throughout the afternoon, but should be clearing up in the evenings. And taking a look at the temperatures, highs are going to be in the low 90s and lows are going to stay in the 70s. That's it for today. Let's head it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. Coming up still on the WHHI Daily News, we're going to talk about the Hilton Head Symphony and a big concert they've got coming up this week. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Beaufort Water Festival last week. But up next, we're going to talk about Bluffton Self-Help's plans to help our neediest folks in the Low Country right now.